really sure. Try to build this one little spot up. It's a bit too steep for him to really have much of a shoulder to mow. What'll happen is, without him being able to mow, all this will grow up in little saplings and weeds that are going to start leaning out, and it'll push him back. So luckily a lot of this has got grass mixed up in it, and it'll probably start growing again, I think. Got a little gravel mixed in with it too, that'll help. We're pretty well finished with the road part of this. We just gotta wait on Willow Creek trucks to haul our loads. Mr. Jared Wells. I told him just to work this job in with his other more pressing jobs. I'm just going to keep on shoveling this dirt. I'll do a clip once I get done. There's enough channels out there, people just shoveling dirt from one place to the next, but if that's something you guys want to watch me do, put it in the comments. I'll be glad to sit here and shovel dirt for you, but I do want to keep this channel as fun and interesting to watch as I can, so y'all just tell me what you want to see. Alright, so I've gotten our dirt piles pretty well knocked down. What I'm going to do, I've left them high, and I'm just going to start kind of on the edge of where the road used to be. And what I'm going to do is track back and forth, working my way out. But I'm also going to put my weight out that way. And I'm going to hover that bucket right above the ground. And what that does is puts more pressure on this track. I've got concrete trucks coming, and I want to make sure this road is packed really well. And if this shoulder's going to give, I want it to do it with me and not them, because obviously their trucks are not made to turn over. By having that boom out there, if this land slides, it's just going to tip and the teeth are going to dig in, and then I just push myself back up the hill. So, and you can stick that arm out as far as you want, really. The farther the better. It's just going to pack it more and more. So I'm just working myself back and forth just like a printer, working the land in. And when you're doing this, see, I'm starting to get kind of tipsy. I'll pull that arm back just a little bit, just enough to keep me from tipping. But I want to mash that ground in as much as I can. I don't intend for the trucks to come this far over. But if they do, I want it to be as safe as possible. I don't want it to look like a road, not be ready to be treated as a road. Always wear your seat belt. See, I'm starting to tip. In an excavator, you're going to tip. Watch. See? You're going to tip eventually. What you do, if you do tip, curl your bucket all the way out to where the teeth are pointed outwards, and then you can just drag that bucket back towards you along the ground. You're going to drag material with you, and then you just lift it up, spin yourself, and then you can just kind of turn and walk back up to higher ground. Always be prepared to tip. As long as you got your arm downhill, you're in control. You're not going to get hurt unless it's just a straight off cliff, in which case you're probably not going to be comfortable enough to do it anyway. So now I've got this high spot, even though I've tracked it in, so I'm just going to skim the ground and deposit that material right there. And I'm just gonna keep working this ground just like this with the machine. And once I feel like it's as compact as I can get it with the excavator, I'm gonna bring the tractor down here and I'm gonna do the same thing. It's not necessarily something I would put a rookie on doing with the tractor because it's not made to tip at all. You know, ideally a bulldozer is best for this. If I had a bulldozer, I could just put the blade out and follow the grade that I want and just keep plowing through there. But as I always say in these videos, I don't have a bulldozer and I just don't have the money to put into one right now, so I'm going to work with what I got. And this little machine, I can do just about the same stuff, but I can't do it at the same production. But you can see how nice of a job it's doing. Just stay in your comfort zone. You know, take your time doing this stuff. And like right here, what I'll do is I can see the seam where the previous road was and where this fill dirt is. And fill dirt's soft. So I'm going to roll it up over that crease there. Just like that. And what I'm wanting to do is give myself a buffer. I'm wanting to give myself plenty of material. Because you tip once you turn, you know, your one side drops beyond your center of gravity. So as long as you've got that material up high enough to where when you back up here and you start to track up on top of it, you want your machine to be up high on that side. So I'm going to start tracking just like this. Hopefully you guys can see it. So now I'm pretty solid. Now watch as we track backwards and forth, you can see that ground moving. But it's okay, because if I tip, this thing's right now it's only going to drop about 3 feet, which wouldn't be a hard hit. Usually when they tip, because of a slide, it'll slide and you'll just kind of float down. So it's not, you know, a sudden, it can feel sudden, but it's not. So I'm just going to keep working my way over. And I can feel that land starting to slide, so as I go forward, I'm just going to turn out of it. And you can see it's pressing that ground down a good 8 inches. You just go slow, take your time, work at your comfort speed, you know, and always keep your boom out there where you can control the tip. You can't really tell how steep of a drop off that is. Now you can see that it's starting to get lower. So I'm going to turn back uphill and I'm going to track back up into the road. And this is just establishing a shoulder, you know. Everybody's got different ways, and I'll go at an angle here. Now I'm going to grab that excess material down there and I'm going to roll it right back up to that crease. Just like this. And just don't do anything, you know. You'll learn. You just fill the machine, and most of the time the heavier the machine, the less sudden a drop is, as far as, you know, you tipping over or whatever. But you common sense will tell you which way you're going to tip over if you're going to. Now another way you can do this until you get comfortable is actually going straight out toward the tipping point. Just drive straight out onto that material there, and as soon as you can't see material in front of your track, back up, and you can see that it has compressed that ground. Now doing this after the first couple of rains, especially if it comes a real heavy rain the first time, there will be washing. And don't be surprised if you have a slide once in a while until you get your practice in and get better at this stuff. Take your time, work at your pace, and that's a good thing about if you're just renting a piece of equipment doing this stuff. You know, you can pick up different pointers from people on YouTube. YouTube's a great asset to the self-teacher. See, I'm just working my way along. I work about a half a track over at a time, that way you double the amount of ground pressure on that fresh material. So I'm going to keep doing this, and we'll check back in at the next step. Okay, so now that you've gotten everything in and you got it where you want it to be, it's time to cut your slope. Now, this is not something you want to do if you're still at a stage where you get confused on what movement of the joysticks or the pedals does. You want to be at a point where everything is pretty well second nature and you just think about what you want to do with the dirt, not necessarily anything to do with the machine. So what I do to help my balance on these middies is I'll swing my boom this way, kind of over toward that corner of my blade, and I'm just going to skim along, low gear, but I won't leave my throttle up. And that way, if all of a sudden I start feeling it tip more than my comfort zone, all I got to do is swing the machine. Okay, if you're at a low idle, this machine moves slower, and you could tip farther than what you want to, or even tip over depending on your situation. So you can leave your boom out a little more straight. Ideally, if you can, you want this boom on the uphill side, because most of your weight in these machines is a little bit this way, but I'm comfortable enough to do it on this side. So I'll swing a little bit this way, and I'm just going to cut my way along, taking my time, idle back up. But when you're idled up, to move slower, you just barely push your pedals. And what I'm doing is I'm just cutting this along. Okay, now just remember, when you get close to a point like this, and you start feeling it tilting more and more, just be ready to swing around. And then you're only going to drop as far as that boom will drop. Okay? So, panic is not an option. Panic makes you lock up and you can't control. So always have your movements planned out, and see, like, if you get to a point like this and it's just going to take too much time, you can reach out there and just start forming the ground with your boom. Work it in. You know, do what's comfortable for you. Don't do something because you think you should be able to. Okay? So I got that shoulder good and compressed. And now what I'm wanting to do is get that slope to where it's not going to wash the very first time it rains. So now, another option, if you're just really, really nervous, stay on your grade, let your blade down so you feel secure. You know, that bouncing is what makes people feel uncomfortable. Take your time. You still have to be ready for something to cave and just swing downhill. Even though you think, oh gosh, that's going to put my weight downhill, I'm going to tip. Well, at least you're in control and you know that's going to make it happen. So just move material along. And once you get down to just a touch of material, side sweep it. And there you are. Lift your blade, inch forward. About a foot is usually what I'll do. And you'll get to where you can just cut these grades in no time. You're not going to feel scared to death. You're not going to feel uneasy. If you feel uneasy, that's Mother Nature trying to protect you from doing something that's normal. And Mother Nature never had it planned for us to have machines like this. So just take your time. And if you can, you know, if it's not been dry as the dickens, you can get some grass seed on this pretty thick, and that way you can get your root mats started growing. And I'm just working my way along this slope at my comfort zone, okay? So now we got that shelf packed in, but I'm going to intentionally break it down. Essentially, I was wanting to semi-compress the ground under those piles of dirt, so just work your way along, press these bottoms, you know, take your time. And I'm going to say that time and time again, take your time. Now another way you can do this, also, everybody's got different ways of doing it. I like blading it because it's faster, but I'm comfortable. You can get way over here on this side of the road I just think it's harder to cut a nice steady slope this way. A little bit harder. And I think it loosens that ground more after we went and spent the time to compact it. This is not my favorite way to do this at all. But just to show you, you can stay up on firm ground. And see, I can't, I'm bouncy, you know, and if I put the blade down, it really doesn't help much. And I don't know why these are like that, but they are. I'll probably do this as a separate little video. It's a little bit longer. And the other part is you can't really sweep smoothly unless you're, you know, you're comfortable on these controls, because you can't use the same part of the bucket the whole way. Once you get some practice, you can get it halfway decent, but it's never going to be a nice, consistent slope.